Hi. So, do you have a story to share, but you're not quite sure how to go about it? You see other people share their story easily, captivate their audience, and just keep them coming back for more. And you always ask yourself, how do they do this? Well, in this video, I'll be sharing some tips to help you. Right. But before we dive in, let me share a quick story with you. A former colleague of mine would usually fill her cup of coffee to the very top, right? One more drop of water in that cup and I promise you the content will come spilling on the floor. The first time I saw this, I was so confused, right? Because she was using a very big cup and it was full to the very top, right? And she'll finish every bit of coffee in that cup. On the other hand, there was me, who, as much as I love coffee, you'll never find my cup that full. I kind of have a mental picture of where the content must reach, right? Whether it's a big cup I'm using or a small cup, it has to reach a certain level for me to have a perfect balance of the coffee, the milk, the water, the sugar, right? And I've come to understand that this is how storytelling is. Some people want a full cup, overflowing with drama, emotions, plot twists, anything you can possibly think of. While there are others who, as much as they love a good story, they just want it simple, straight to the point, precise, not too much, and they're okay. And so you who's listening to me now, you must understand that people enjoy stories differently. They enjoy conversations differently. And so, as the storyteller, you must be able to serve the right story to the right people in the right way. And that's why I'll be sharing these tips with you, just to help you and to guide you as you do that, right? So tip number 1, you must know your audience's taste. This is very important. One core aspect of storytelling is knowing who exactly you are telling the story to. This is very important. Just like coffee, some people want it black, some people want it milky with a lot of cream. Some people like it hot, some people like it iced. And that's the same thing with storytelling. And so you must know who they are for you to be able to serve the right amount of ingredients and the right amount of information, the right amount of elements of storytelling to them. Right? Now, the way you share a story to a group of 12-year-olds is totally different from the way you share that same story to a group of CEOs or investors or creatives. Ask yourself, are they detail-oriented? Do they want the emotions? What's their attention span like? This is something you must answer, and you can only know that if you know who exactly they are. 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds, they may not want all the details of the story, but older people might want it, right? So this is something you must consider. Now, the second tip, you must find your core message. What's your core message? Yeah, what is it? Imagine with me that you're trying to make a cup of coffee. You put the milk, you put the sugar, you put the water. Some people even add some kind of syrup. And in the midst of all of that, you forget the coffee. At that point, it's no more a cup of coffee you're making. You're making a cup of every other thing that you put in there. That's exactly what it's like when you omit the core message in the midst of all the side stories, random thoughts, background details that you're sharing in your story. You must ask yourself, if someone is to take away one thing from your story, what would that thing be? If you can't answer that question, then you're not quite ready to share the story just yet. Answer that question and then you'll know what your core message is. Is it a lesson? Is it a shift in perspective? What exactly is it? What action do you want them to take? Right. So this is something you must consider when you're sharing your story. Now, the third thing, edit ruthlessly. Don't overfill the cup. Yeah, I know you're very excited to share your story and you're putting in a lot of details, some thoughts here, some thoughts there, but calm down, right? pay attention to what exactly you're doing. Sometimes we just overshare. And this is something I call overfilling the cup. And when you do that, it will spill over. And what happens is you lose your audience. Yeah? So be willing and ready to edit ruthlessly. Ask yourself, will the person listening or reading this story still get the core message if I remove these elements from the story? If you can do that, then it's okay to edit that part out. I'm not saying edit everything, but just be willing to take out the excesses. Right. And that's just the third tip I would like to share with you. Edit ruthlessly. Don't overfill the cup. Don't overshare. Don't put a lot of random thoughts in. Even if you do, try and still keep the core message at the central focus. Right. So these are just some tips that I wanted to share with you to help you get started with telling your story in the right way and to the right people. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I also hope that you will take into practice these tips that I've shared with you, right? And get to work, okay? So see you in the next video and have a lovely day. Bye.